Hey, everybody, welcome back to Hops Geek News, a podcast where we talk about comic books, TV shows, movies, news, beer, you name it, we got it. Great news, we're not canceling the podcast. I am your
We're just
host.
replacing Mash with his
We
wife
are,
because I liked her more.
yes, we're going to dive into this. I'm being replaced, so fond farewells to everybody here. If anybody needs an eccentric ADHD man child for their
Who
podcast,
wears Dunkin' Donuts
who
Crocs?
I have ordered Dunkin' Donuts Crocs to go with my jogger. If anybody needs that in their life, hey,
Oh,
I'm
that's
your.
what it's not a onesie, it's a jogger.
It's a jogger. I got the top and I got the bottom. It's a
Oh.
two piece. So if you
Oh,
need
okay.
that, hey, sign me up. I'm in. I'm on your podcast. I'll talk about anything.
Twosies.
I'll try anything twice. That said, I am Mash. Alongside me is Lauren, aka the Hoppy Mommy, and together we are Prestige Worldwide, wide. No, we are Hops Geek News. Like I said, search us, Hops News. If you found us, great, you're here. If you stumbled upon us, like I just said, Hops News, search us, love us, subscribe, review, whatever it is. Find us on
Smash that
Twitter
like button.
at Geek Hops. Find us on Instagram, Hops Geek News. Lauren posts some dope ass pictures. I talk some straight buffoonery on Twitter. And without further ado, let's dive in. Today, we have a special episode for you because we have
Very special.
Gnome, aka the Gnome. I said Gnome, aka the Gnome. Yeah, whatever.
I was gonna say, okay, what?
Anyways, you might know him as Gnome from Dad's on Dayquil. He is here to talk supernatural. He is here to take on the Hoppy Mommy in a 1v1 battle of wits, determination, and who knows more about supernatural. So before we get
Dun dun
started, we're
dun.
going to talk about things we fucked up on. We're going to talk about my Orlando vacation, and we are going to talk about some news. So, Lauren, what did we fuck up on last week?
Not too much. We said we were gonna cancel the podcast. We are not gonna do
We are
that.
not.
There was some discussion on our Star Wars episode about Hayden Christensen being in a lake movie. So the movie I was referring to was Life as a House. I have never seen it, but there is a
Don't
lake
even know what that is.
in the commercial. I had to look it up. I kept saying, I forgot what I kept saying, Lake House or something. I think that might be the time travel movie with Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. I've not seen that either, but I
Mm,
remember all the commercials for all these things. So I'm pretty sure that's all we fucked up on. And if we fucked up on anything else that I missed, it's because it was a Star Wars episode. And that's on you then.
it is. It is that on me. We actually have decided that I'm really impressed by you, by the way. Speaking of Star Wars, you watched The Bad Batch and you really enjoyed it. That
I
makes me
did.
happy because I have been talking about getting you to watch the Clone Wars for decades now. And
Yes.
so you're going to go back, you're going to rewatch the Clone Wars. And
But I will say though, I did watch the first episode of the Clone Wars a
good.
long time ago.
You did. And you also watched the finale. So I'm excited to see your journey through the series. I'm gonna rewatch
Yes.
it as well. And when it's all over, we're gonna do an episode on it. And I'm so stoked. Cannot tell you.
Yes. Well, my plan is to rewatch everything in chronological order and add in all the cartoons that I have not watched. I've seen all the real stuff. I just haven't seen all the cartoons.
Look at that. I'm so proud
So
of you.
I'm
I'm like
gonna
a
do
proud
it.
father right now. I'm just so proud
Well,
of
I
you.
get my second shot tomorrow. Maybe I'll start tomorrow if
I'm
if
just so
the
proud
shot
of you.
hits me.
So
Thank
proud.
you.
Um,
Thanks, mom.
speaking of
My
Star
mom's proud of me
Wars,
too.
your mom should be, because speaking of Star Wars and speaking of your mom, yeah, look at that segue. We uh we are not canceling the podcast because we actually finally met in person last week on Wednesday. Yeah, I got there in Orlando Wednesday with my family.
Yeah,
I
a week ago
spent
right now we were like drinking
We did.
together.
Holy shit, we were, because I went and met you with Disney at Disney Springs. It was your boo and your daughter, and we met up. We had a couple beers, we chatted. I took your stroller and I said, "See you never again, punk."
I
Just
stole
kidding.
my stroller, and that was it. That's the last
That
time I
was
saw
it.
him.
That's the last time I ever saw you. And so, haha, jokes on you. Until Friday, anyways, when you were gracious enough to meet us out at Galaxies.
Gracious enough to go to Disney
Well, yes,
when
Disney,
I
but
live in
this
Orlando and I'm a pass holder.
at the same time, like we met at Galaxy's Edge, which, oh my god, dude, I can't even tell you. Like, I didn't go to Galaxy's Edge all that day. So
I was
Thursday,
shocked when you told me that.
my family and I went to Magic Kingdom Thursday, and we fucked up. We were like, did the kids need naps? And we had a miscommunication. And so we are like, nah, we'll go to Epcot. Epcot was cool. We went on the Frozen ride and then the Three Caballeros because my son's obsessed with the Three Caballeros. For he
That's
might
so
be, he
cute.
literally might be the only person I've ever met who's obsessed with the Three Caballeros.
Okay, we saw the Three Caballeros in Disneyland because we have the ride in Mexico at Epcot,
Yeah,
but they never do the meet and greet. So we were in Disneyland and they actually had a meet and greet, and we waited in line for a good like 35. I'm like, we're getting a fucking picture with the Three
he
Caballeros
would lose
because
his
this is a
fucking
meet and
mind
greet that I've never
because he was
seen.
telling me, he tells me all about it. He watches them all the time. So we actually, I took him on his first roller coaster ever. It was amazing. He went on Thunder Mountain. The man was a champ. So he's 5, but he's really the size of a 7 or 8 year old. So he got to go on all these rides. Uh, my daughter, she was cool. Disney was great. Magic Kingdom is my wife's favorite place to go. I enjoy it for what it is. It's super touristy, so I enjoyed it.
Mhm.
We did the Be Our Guest dinner, which was great
Which is the
because
best one
like
there. I think.
holy
I think
shit,
it's better
the
than Cinderella.
filet mignon that we had there was the best steak I may ever have in my life. It was
I
so
had the
crazy.
ratatouille last time I was there. I thought it was in
Well,
theme.
like it was crazy. Like the beast came out, he bowed, he saw some people. You're in this ballroom. We had just gotten off the Little Mermaid ride. I lost my contact even, so like thank God I had my glasses with me as a backup. But like it was great. The whole experience there was great. Now, the only thing that sucks is like Disney requires 2-year-olds and up to wear a mask. And my daughter wanted to wear her mask right below her nose. Oh God, she's one of those old angry Republicans. And so
Jeez.
I'm fine with it. Like, hey, I get it. They have rules. I'm not hating on them. But once in a while, somebody would be like, hey, she needs to have a mask over her nose. And that just devolved into like her ripping her mask off. She was tired though. I mean, these poor kids.
Yeah.
I have a 5 and a 2-year-old. These poor kids were up. Like they didn't sleep hardly. My kids love sleep, and they did not get sleep on this ride, this trip. So Thursday was great. Epcot was great. I had some beers in Canada, Germany, and oh God, I can't even remember the other place I had. I had 3 beers. I don't remember the third place, but Canada and Germany. We did a
What did
bunch
it
of
look like?
rides. Fuck, dude. I don't even remember. Like, if anything, I posted the pictures. It was great. Epcot is a place that next time I do come out, that's a place we have to go to drink around the world
Drink
because
around the world.
it's
Yeah.
really an adult place. We waited in line for the Frozen ride, which was the longest we actually had waited in the line the whole entire weekend we were there.
That's
Because
probably the longest ride in the entire park or
it
the
is.
entire parks.
Well, it's the way Disney is set up,
That
it
and
was
Mine
great.
Train.
They actually are great with a lot of the things closed. So a lot of the rides are an hour wait or less. And then also some of the rides you wait in like their restaurants that are closed. So that's nice. But Frozen, you're outside in the fucking sun. You start in China Land and you're waiting all the way up into Norway. So that kind of sucked because it was the hottest part of the day.
Right. But that's only because of they have the 6 feet of distance.
Yeah.
Normally, even if it was
All
an
the COVID
hour, you would
rules.
be
Yeah.
inside. Yeah. So Frozen's not normally like that, but yeah, it usually goes into China.
And it was a decent ride. My daughter, she's obsessed with Frozen. She loved it. And so Thursday just kind of became a wash. I mean, it wasn't a wash. We enjoyed it, but we were tired.
Yeah. I will
Friday,
say Frozen is good, but rest in peace, Maelstrom. Maelstrom was better. Do you remember that ride?
I don't. I
Norway will
don't.
always mean adventure.
I don't actually. So
All
next
right.
time I come though, we're gonna go drink around the world, which
Hell
who
yes.
knows? I personally would like to come for MegaCon. Is that gonna happen? Probably not.
You
But
don't want to drink around the world in August.
hell yeah, I do. Look, I'll try and
All
think
right.
twice.
All right. Well, you won't get drunk at all because you'll be sweating so much.
Yeah, that's fine. That's great. I mean, I just want to taste the beers. But
All right. So
Friday,
Friday.
we went to Hollywood Studios. We woke up. We had some breakfast. I went to Dunkin' Donuts. Hell yeah, baby! I got myself 2 large iced, a donut. I don't,
2
and
cups of coffee
a
just for you.
fucking mega or multigrain bagel with strawberry cream cheese. It was delish. Am neither here nor there. We went to Hollywood Studios. So the first ride we went on was the Runaway Mickey, and that was such a fucking dope ride. Like my
And
kids loved it.
that ride's only just over a year old, so it
Yeah, I
replaced
was
the
gonna
Great
say it's
Movie
at the
Ride.
Chinese theater right there, and
Yeah,
I
you did
didn't
it before we
remember.
did it. We did it
Yeah,
later that day and it was our first time.
because last time I was there in 2016, that wasn't there, and so
No, it was a great movie
we
ride.
did that. It was such a great ride. Recommend. We waited 45 minutes. That's totally fine. Beginning of the day, totally good. And then we went to the Frozen sing along, which I have gripes with that actually. I thought that so they tell you the history of Arendelle. However, it's two nobodies. They're historians. Personally, I think Anna and Elsa or Kristoff and Anna should be telling the history of Arendelle. Instead, you get these two side characters nobody gives a fuck about.
That would be
And
cute if they had Kristoff and Anna.
well,
But
Kristoff had
I'm
the fucking personality of a gnat. Like he was there, hungover, and like, why am I here? I don't know what he was doing,
but
but
they probably do that because those characters are out there the most and it doesn't matter what they look like because Disney's very strict on like certain character descriptions to try to make them look like them. Like, people who are playing like Tinkerbell and whatnot have to be below a certain height. And so if you just
that's
have
true.
Anna and Elsa coming out real quick and then I don't know, they go to Magic Kingdom. I don't know what the hell they do back there. Um Actually, I guess they're meet and greets at Epcot right now, but that's not even happening.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, they're not even doing that.
Whatever.
So I don't know. They were there for
My
5 minutes.
guess is
Anna
that's
and
why.
Elsa were literally there for 5 minutes, but my daughter lost her shit. It was great. After that, we went and I took my son on um the Star Wars ride with the AT-AT
Star Tours.
Star Tours. Oh my god, it was the hilarious. He was like, "Whoa, yeah!" He was losing his shit. It as a dad and a Star Wars nerd, it literally melted my heart. I cannot tell you what it meant to me because right as soon as we left that, we built lightsabers together, and I had thought about doing the $200 lightsaber, all that stuff. I didn't, but we did like the $20 lightsaber, and that's just as good because just getting to build a lightsaber with my son, it meant the world to me. I can't even begin to describe. Like, I'm not a mushy touchy feely person, but it was amazing. And so we did that, and then we grabbed lunch, all that stuff, and he did the rock and roller coaster, which at first he was like, I'm never doing that shit again. And so we went back, took a nap, and then we came back and met up with you and your mom and your daughters. It was great right from the get go. We had a couple beers. We got a picture in front of the Millennium Falcon drinking beers together. And we were sitting in, what was it, Dock 7? Dock Base. I had
Docking Bay 7, yeah.
Docking Bay 7. We went to Docking Bay 7. We had some beers. My wife and son had met up. And then the three of us, my wife, my son, and myself, went on Smuggler's Run. And again, so I was a pilot and my son was a pilot, and Hondo, like you're waiting in line and Hondo's there basically telling you everything, which if Clone Wars you'll meet Hondo and he's fantastic. And then
Mm.
you're flying the Millennium Falcon, so I'm the one pilot and my son's the other pilot, and he's just losing his mind having so much
Aw.
fun. My wife's the gunner. It's like the three of us, and it I can't tell you what it begins to mean to me being like that was my first experience in the Galaxy's Edge, getting to see it with my son. I know I'm getting long-winded, but it meant the world to me, and just Galaxy's Edge was so fucking cool.
They did do an amazing job.
It
Yeah.
was
To
amazing.
anybody who hasn't been, there's like a special of behind the scenes on Disney Plus, and like they really, let's just say Star Wars nerds were the Imagineers on this project.
No shit. Like you walk in there and you're immersed in a culture immediately. You have the Resistance X-wing, you have an A-wing. Obviously I'm so pissed off because right as soon as 1 o'clock hit, I fucking tried to get the Rise of Resistance ride and it wouldn't let me get tickets. It was already sold out. And then there's people cheering around me while I'm sitting there in the hot ass
Yeah.
sun, and I was mad as hell. But you know what? It made up for it because we got to do other stuff. And so we had drank beers, and you guys amazing taking the kids. So I got to experience with my wife. We went through the marketplace. That was super cool. I should have bought Jedi robes. I'm honestly I'm honest to God, like it's haunting.
Cash at me. I'll go
I'm
buy them.
I'm going to next time you go. I dead ass. I'm probably gonna like Venmo you money to get me these Star Wars robes because it is haunting me right now. I'm like, I should have bought these. Why didn't I buy these? I should have. And so
I only regret the Disney purchases I don't make. I'm not
that's exactly where I'm at, and I'm regretting not buying those Star Wars robes in the
right.
marketplace.
There's never been
So
anything at Disney I regretted buying, only not buying.
and that's where I'm at. I should have bought the fucking robes. I should have because I would live in those things. I'd go to Comic Cons. Like I should have done it. but the real party started. So we drank, we all met up, the families, all that kind of stuff. And it was honestly, to me, like, you don't have to feel this way at all, but to me it felt like old family friends meeting up. Like
Yeah.
it honestly felt like it wasn't the first time we were meeting each other. And
No.
it was great because our kids got along amazingly, and everybody just meshed so well. And I don't mean to keep rehashing that, but it was just really nice because out here in Idaho, we really don't get that. And so meeting up with you guys, it really did feel like family friends that we've known for a long time.
Right. Well, and then
And
Saturday morning, all morning. When's Oliver coming over? When's I'm like,
yeah.
Brielle, they're at Disney. They will be here. Give them some
And
time.
I love that. I wish we had more of that because my kids, we've tried making friends with the parents and the kids out here, but military people suck. Like
But you got to
there's,
be careful too. I had
and you
one of
also have
my
to be
oldest
careful.
friends'
Yeah.
moms like, ooh, that didn't end well. It didn't
Well,
go well.
yeah, you still gotta be careful. But with like you guys, it was amazing because Oliver still, he was like so cute. He was, oh my God, there's this girl, Amber, at his school. And he's like, oh my God, I don't want her to know that I was hanging out with Brielle. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, dude, you're 5. Who
Oh,
cares?
my daughter's the other woman.
I was like, dude, what? Like, it was hilarious. He's like, can't, she'll be sad. And I'm like, no, my God. But no, it was just amazing because they got together so well. And then probably the best part of the whole trip was we went and we were talking to the guy off the
We
plane.
left all the kids. Oh, we're
Well, we
still at
left the kids.
Hollywood
We're
Studios.
still
Right,
on
right.
Friday. Like, this is gonna be a long ass episode. I apologize. You'll be fine. Uh we went to the cantina and we were basically like, hey dude, how long's the wait? And he was like, well, we're all booked up. And pretty much you were
We had
super,
been trying to get reservations on
we
the
had,
app though. From the second you told me,
I
you and
booked
I
this
would both
trip like,
randomly check.
yeah, we would be checking, and we even were, we killed our
And I
phone
was checking for
batteries.
2. I'm like, I will take their kids, and Matt and his wife can go in there and like, because I've
Yeah,
been in the cantina before and it's amazing. And any
it
Star
is.
Wars fan deserves to go in there. So we had both been checking all day. We're both, I mean, I was draining the battery on my phone just refreshing. So finally I did go up to one of them in the middle of the day or shortly after we got there. Hey, we can't get anything on the app. Is there any, any standby line? Oh, there's no standby line. But if you come back when the park closes, because park closes at 8, the cantina doesn't close till later, maybe we can sneak you in. Okay.
Yeah. So I was, hey, even if it's one person that you can get in there, I'll go in there, I'll pound a beer, and I'll come right back out.
Yeah, because
And I
he's
was like,
looking at both of us. We're like, just him. He's the only one that needs to get
yeah, the
in.
guy was like confused. And I was like, look, we're literally going to sit on the ledge right there across from you. And so we went and we sat down. The park closed at 8, but they don't kick you out. And so we were sitting there and it
No,
was like,
they want you to spend all your money at the gift shop
yeah.
before you leave.
And it was like 8:30 and he walks over and I was like, oh, fuck. Because I was losing my mind because people were walking up and seemingly getting in. And I was like, oh my God, it's happening. Oh, fuck, it's happening. It's happening. And he was like, hey, I can get you in. And we are like, for just me? And he goes, well, how many are you? And we told him. And he's like, yeah, I could do that. And we are like, what? So not only am I getting in, but Lauren's coming in with us, my wife, my daughter, my son, your daughters, your mom, like we all are getting into the cantina. And that to me was a dream come true because we got
Well,
to go
and
in there.
my mom and my middle kid had not been in there before because the reservations are hard to come by. So my oldest and I had been in there more than once because we made it a priority and booked it super in advance in the past. But yeah, they had never been. So
And yeah, like your mom and I
first all
are
around.
huge nerds. Your mom had seen it when she was in high school. I grew up on Star
Came
Wars.
out
So
the week she graduated.
we were both very much like, this is Star Wars. Like if we could just work here and live here, this would be perfect. And so we all got into the cantina and it's beautiful inside. And we ordered Bad Motivator. My
Sierra
wife
Nevada Bad
did.
Motivator IPA.
It was delicious. And my mom ordered some. The kids had blue milk, which it we ordered the shakur, we ordered food and all that kind of stuff. It was great. And then as soon as we went to go take a video together, the
The
cantina
second.
music, it's like the second we stood up to like do like a promotional video, the cantina music went off. And that's how that, like if that's not fucking destiny, I don't know what is at that point, dude. And so that was great. And we closed the park down. Like our kids, my daughter and my son, or my daughter, your daughter and my son, there were Brielle and Oliver were just running amok through the park. They were wanting to take pictures together wherever, and it was just it was fun because we just got
That
to close
is
the park down.
That's a tip to anybody who's not familiar with Disney, especially right now. A lot of the hours they're closing early. And sometimes they randomly will close early for whatever reasons, especially
Right.
Animal Kingdom. But you can still book reservations around the time the park is closing. And if you do that, you walk out to an empty park. That's always fun. I wouldn't let them do cartwheels now because it's a pandemic, but I've seen my kids do cartwheels out of more than one park. Just still gross. They still wash their hands, but
Well,
it's just
yeah,
nice. And the kids love being able to actually run and do zigzags. And so that
yeah,
is my
hundred
insider
percent.
tip.
I
Book a late
mean,
reservation.
Brielle and Oliver, they're running amok and they were having such a blast. They were laughing the whole time, and then they wanted
Yeah.
pictures, and it was just cool to like. There was nobody in the park. It was so freeing
Which
to
you
just
never see.
no, you never see that, and it was great. And thank you, you drove us back to the hotel, and then the next day we did Disney Springs. We were worrying about our rental car because our rental car had a hole or a screw in the tire, and that whole rental company, like if you're gonna rent through Next Car in Orlando, just fucking don't do it, dude, because
I've never even heard of Next
well,
Car.
we booked through Orbitz, our rental car, and that's just where it happened. It's an offsite property, so we had to take a shuttle there. All right, no big deal. But then you get there and they're like, there's this hidden fee, there's this hidden fee, there's that. And they're super sketchy. And we were trying to figure out how we're dropping the car off because like you can leave at the airport, but they didn't give us instructions. And so like we are stressing out that whole morning. Like, how are we gonna get this car dropped off so they don't think we stole it? And so just don't fucking do it. Just spend the extra
In the
money.
end, I had to bail him out of jail because I thought he stole it.
Exactly. We stole a fucking Hyundai, whatever, or no, it was a Nissan Altima. But in the end, just rent from the airport or the Disney property because it's not worth it. Half our day was kind of like shitty that morning because we were too worried about it. But my son bought Iron Man hands, which are dope. I bought some
Oh, at the
shirts and
Avengers store?
yes, we we
Yeah.
we we balled out that morning. We went to the T Rex, the dinosaur themed dinner or lunch place
Yeah,
next
it's
to the Lego
Rainforest
store.
Cafe, but with dinosaurs.
It
It's
is.
actually pretty cool.
It's cool. So it's not anything special. You're not gonna go in there. Your mind's not gonna be blown. But for kids, they loved it. Like
Yeah.
my son picked it, so Oliver picked it, and he loved that shit. So
They
that's
do
what
the
it's all
meteor
about.
showers. But for
Yeah.
good beer, you got to go to City Eatery Works, which is by MBA, or you got to go to Polite
Yes.
Pig, which is a walk up. Great barbecue. And it's Polite Pig is actually part of Ravenous Pig, which is a local brewery in
Oh,
Orlando.
it is. And we've had them.
A Working Man Porter was from Ravenous Pig.
It
I
was. I
have sent you that
was
one, yeah.
gonna go to the NBA store that morning, but they were closed, which sucks because I was gonna go in there and buy some stuff. But it's right across from the House of Blues, and
Yeah, they
it's
just moved over from City Walk. So if you've been to the one at City Walk,
yeah,
they just moved it over.
it's great. It was a great time. And so that night we got to your house, and me, you, Josh, Carrie, and your mom all went out, and we went to Tactical. We went to 1010. We went to GB's Bottle Shop. We went to Sideward. We went to Ivanhoe. Like we just straight up, and my favorites were like I loved the interior theme of Ivanhoe. Like that was a vibe. But the beer, probably Tactical and Sideward were my favorite beer spots.
Yeah, Tactical's definitely hands down my favorite.
I could have just drank all their beers right there at Tactical. The inside was beautiful, really nice, really. It's in a nice area too.
Yeah, they're in Baldwin Park. If anybody's not familiar with it, it's I don't want to say like Los Olas, but it's a nicer part of Orlando.
Yeah, it was perfect. And so yeah, it was. We were out till like 11 o'clock at night, and then I had to wake the poor kids up at 2:30 in the morning.
That was so
And
terrible.
those kids were like, they had fun. I mean, we got back to your house, like our kids were all running around crazy, and they all had a good time. I walked into Brielle's room and I was like, all right, Oliver, time to go. And she was like, are you guys coming back? And I was like, sorry, not right now. And she goes, well, I'm sad. And I was like, yeah, I'm
She's got a
sorry.
lot of emotions. That's
Me
that's how
too,
she
kid. Me
works.
too. But I mean, the fact that all the kids got along great, and despite my one having to go commando because I thought because she was doing so well, and
Oh yeah,
it
your daughter was wearing my son's pants.
it was great. I left like half my kids' stuff. They apparently moved into your house, and Yeah, it was a great trip. Honestly, probably the best trip that we had been on. You guys, seriously, thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't thank you guys enough for all the stuff that you did for us, and I can't wait to come back. But that was the extent. We drugged those poor kids. My son almost left their tablets and his backpack on the bus in the morning.
Oh
When
no.
we had parked the car and all that stuff, we hopped on a bus, a shuttle, because the Orlando
Hmm.
airport. I'm like half asleep. I'm like, I don't know where the fuck to park, so I parked far away. The shuttle took us, and then we hopped off. And I'm like, "Where's your backpack?" Like somehow I don't know. I recognized he didn't have his backpack on, so Carrie hopped on and grabbed the backpack, but the guy started driving away, and she's like, "No, wait!" Yeah,
Oh
it was
no.
it was such a scene. And then obviously we like it took us forever to get through the airport, but um we made it. And as soon as we got home, we sat down on the couch and we all just crashed asleep. We were just toast. And
Oh, I'm sure.
it was a great trip. I can't wait to come back with the Disney hotel opening up next year with real lightsabers. Hope
Yes, the
maybe
Star Wars Disney
we're
Hotel
just gonna plan like annual trips to come see you guys. And that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to Disney. We're
works for
gonna
us. We'll
go
be
do
here.
crazy stuff. You're gonna be there. And we're just gonna plan annual family vacations together, apparently. So it was
I
fun.
like it. That's
Thank
the
you.
best way to travel though, is with friends. And like, cause we do that regularly and it's just, it's so nice because then you can do more because you can
Yeah.
trade off with the kids and you can, like when we went out to California, like, a couple of my friends wanted to do the half marathon in Disneyland. You can't just leave your kids at the hotel at 5 a.m. and go do that. So like we're
No.
able to do that. And then, yeah. And then you're also able to, there'd be times where you'd be like, okay, the husbands have the kids, we're going to this brewery and we'll be back. Or, you
Yeah.
can take turns and have some downtime. So traveling with friends is the way to go. And
Well,
like when we do the Mickey boats with friends, our kids are more inclined to want to go to the kids club if their best friend is in the kids club.
agreed. Agreed. And honestly, I mean, it doesn't have to be Orlando. If you guys travel anywhere and are like, hey, you guys want to come? Yeah, we'll work it. Or if you come out to Boise anytime, obviously, we're here. And nobody wants to willingly come to Idaho. I don't blame you.
One day I'll come to Idaho. Never been. It's on my
So
to-do list.
if you
Was not a year
guys
ago.
if you guys come out here, obviously we'll take the kid, that trade off. We've talked about it. We'll talk about plenty more. So long-windedly, what what have we read or watched this week
We should do
aside
this real
from
quick because we got some supernatural to get
we
into.
do we got to get into Supernatural. So we're gonna run through the news and what have we watched this week. I
Well,
apologize, a
we
longer
both
episode, but
both watched Bad Batch and you
we
watched
did
Mortal Kombat. So those are going to be upcoming episodes.
twice.
So we don't really need to talk about those.
That's right. We have an
Um
unexpected pod. We're gonna talk Bad Batch the first couple episodes. Mortal Kombat. My longtime friend Charlie's gonna come on. So yeah,
and then I
I,
watched Tenant. I finally watched
how
Tenant.
was that?
So it was good. It's like 2.5 hours
Really?
long. I did not expect that. I
I
watched
heard
it over two
nobody knew what the
nights.
story was.
So I put it on and like I'm almost to an hour and I'm like, okay, I need to go I like paused it and I was like, holy crap, there's a lot left. I'm done for the night. And I was like, I don't get why everybody's saying this movie's so amazing. So then the next night, my husband's like, hey, I want to finish that movie. Let's, get the kids situated. So we get the kids situated, go to bed. I put it back on. And like, not even like 10 minutes later, I'm like, holy shit, this got good. And then I like understood what everybody was talking about. And by the end, I was like, well, now I want to go back and rewatch it. So it's time travel, but it's not time travel.
Huh.
So it's one of those like you kind of just have to watch it and like you're super confused in the beginning. And I remember saying to my husband, I'm like, am I supposed to be confused right now? He's like, I'm confused right now too. I'm like, okay, good. I didn't
I'm
miss
still
anything.
confused. Like
So
I heard it's super confusing.
it is confusing, but it gets less confusing. And then it gets, oh, and then you start to connect things. And then they're like, well, now I need to go back and rewatch.
Huh.
Um, so it is very good. I had never seen the main character before. I don't even think he had a name. Like, and because we always have subtitles on because our kids are loud assholes,
Right.
and it would say antagonist or
Huh.
protagonist. I'm sorry,
That's so
protagonist.
weird. That's so
But
weird.
that's relevant to the story too. So it was good, and I did finally watch Invincible.
I heard the finale. Like, I've seen all the memes and stuff, but like, yeah, I don't.
I finally watched it.
I'm
I
so
straight up
far
asked
behind.
somebody, like, look, I've only seen issues 1 to 47. Is it safe? Because my concern was there was somebody they introduced in one of the episodes I did not remember. So I was concerned they were going to do more of that maybe.
Mm,
But I'm having major issues with Amazon and I had to like cancel an order. My Invincible
really?
Compendium 2 was missing. So I had to finally wait and cancel it and then ordered it from a comic book shop. And now the same thing's happening with 3. I don't know what's happening.
What?
So I'm still waiting.
Amazon, Jeff Bezos, what are you doing?
Yeah, you're not. He's grieving his best friend who is. Wait, no, they're not best friends, are they?
I don't know.
Whatever.
Are they? I feel like they hate each other, but
I think
really,
I'm thinking of Warren Buffett and
everybody's richer than I am, so I
Bill
can't.
Gates. Okay, news. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Let's do that.
News, yes. So Warner Brothers, Ray Fisher, the whole storyline with them, how they are slightly racist. Well, guess what? They fixed it, everybody, because they decided to do a black Superman,
Fixed it.
and they're not doing Steel. They're not doing any of their other, color people, or they're superheroes of color. They are doing Kal-El. Yeah. I look. I have no problem. No problem at all. Like zero. Here's where I come in. Is the
Okay, where do you
problem
come in?
the problem is that they have so many superheroes of color that they're just disregarding. Like there's so many
Mm.
stories to tell, but they're like, what do the people want? Oh, guys, we're not racist. Look, we have Kal-El and he's black. It's like you're missing the point. You're missing the fucking point. And so it's just frustrating being a DC fan. I'm all for this. Hey, do diversity. Hell yeah, I'm all about it. I'm like the number one person that's all about it. But what I have a problem with is that they're ignoring that all their stories to tell with other characters. And so Warner Brothers doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. Fuck the, it's such a shitty
You're
time.
just mad because that recent Marvel trailer was so
It's just
amazing.
it's just a shitty time to be a DC fan, and the Marvel trailer showing us everything that's coming that we'll talk about in a second.
It's
It
okay to
sucks.
switch sides. You can come to the Marvel side,
It's just I love DC. I do, but like their
but
movies
it's
just
okay to change your mind as you grow and evolve and you learn new
I'm just
information.
never gonna get a quality DC movie in my entire life, and it's such pain.
Wonder Woman was quality, the first one.
Okay, Wonder Woman was, and there is some quality in there, but on Henry Cavill's birthday, they're like, guess what we're not getting? More Henry Cavill as Kal-El. Ha 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 ha.
I was listening to Hop Heroes this morning though, and although Jordan sounded upset that they're considering Henry Cavill for Hercules in the Marvel
Are they?
universe.
Well, look, Marvel, if you're not listening to this, but if you were, take Henry Cavill. Take him. He deserves somebody
You hear
so
that,
loving
Jordan?
and nurturing. Like he deserves that love because Warner Brothers isn't giving it. So fucking take him. You know what? It sucks. DC, Warner Brothers, go fucking
All
piss
right,
off.
I would say let's move along so you're not so angry. But your next piece of news, I think you might be
Oh my
angrier.
god. This rolls into Matt Smith is Damon Targaryen, and oh, guess what? I don't care about Game of Thrones anymore because their
You're still
last
gonna watch it
I don't know. I don't I yes, okay, yes, I probably will. But
because he hates himself.
I'm such a masochist, dude. Like god damn. Like this prequel to Game of Thrones after you literally built us up and then you also just shit on our souls from the last couple episodes of season 7 to all of season 8. Like I
All
just
right, that's a whole episode right there.
Game of
But
Thrones, fuck
yes,
Game of Thrones, fuck Game of Thrones. I'm not
maybe
excited
we'll
for
do a
this.
Game of Thrones episode before this comes out.
We
But yeah,
should.
their Matt Smith photo. He's super blonde. Um, so actually, recently my husband was watching a movie about Charles Manson, and I'm like, why does Charles Manson look so familiar? It's Matt Smith.
Was he really? I had no
Yeah.
idea.
Oh my gosh, and because he doesn't have the accent, and he's not wearing a
Wow.
fez and wearing a bow tie. But yeah, it was Matt
I
Smith. So I was
honestly had no idea. Okay, well that's cool. Well, Elizabeth wow. I've been drinking.
Elizabeth Banks.
Elizabeth Banks, aka Rita Repulsa from the Power Rangers and Zack
Oh
and Mary Makes a
my
Porno, is going to be helming a new Flintstones sequel cartoon. And it's like Bedrock, I think is the name. Look, Flintstones, I'm here for it. You know what? I
the
don't love the Flintstones.
Flintstones.
I don't hate the Flintstones, but guess what? Their vitamins got me through my childhood, and so I will watch this. And
I,
Elizabeth Banks is pretty good. I like her as an actress. I'll watch it. Yeah, whatever. That's my
okay,
news.
I'm gonna go
Go
through my
ahead,
news quick.
shatter my soul with the Marvel rundown.
So they're auditioning people for Percy Jackson for the Disney Plus series. I know a lot of people have a lot of emotions about that because the people who read the book are not fans of the
Yeah.
movie. There's an Enchanted sequel called Disenchanted. It's If you have not seen the Disney movie
Wait,
Enchanted,
Enchanted. That was with Amy Adams.
yep, and Patrick Dempsey,
Oh yeah, McDreamy, dude.
one of the most underrated Disney movies there are. It is amazing. And for those who don't know, Idina Menzel, who plays Elsa, is also a Disney princess in this movie. So she is
Really?
a Disney princess and a Disney queen. So good on you. That movie is amazing. If you haven't seen it, you're missing out. Enchanted, watch it. It's a
I
mixture of
do.
animated and
It's
real life.
Disney
They make
Plus,
fun of
right?
it should be on Disney Plus, but they make fun of a lot of the Disney cliches. There's a shit ton of Easter eggs in there. Susan Sarandon plays like the evil queen.
That's right.
It's
I saw that in
fantastic.
theaters actually.
Me too. Wow, you didn't have kids then.
What?
And you saw it in theaters. Okay.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
So it's called Disenchanted. So these are just some reminders. I know a lot of people have seen these dates, but we're just going to go through Marvel dates real quick. So we got Black Widow, July 9th, Shang-Chi, September 3rd. We finally got Eternals footage. If you have not seen the new
They're
Marvel
the fucking
trailer,
speedster, dude. They killed off Quicksilver to bring us an eternal speedster.
there you go, kids. But go to YouTube and look up it's a Phase 4 Marvel trailer. It will make you cry. If it doesn't make you cry, then you're a psychopath or whatever those serial killers are that don't cry. Spidey, No Way Home,
Cry.
December 17th. Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, March 25th, 2022. Thor, Love and Thunder, May 6th, 2022. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, July 8th, 2022.
Look, I'm gonna
That
be
one's
real
hard
with
to even
you.
say.
I'm excited for
Bring
this.
tissues that day. I mean, yeah, bring a
I
box of
just-
tissues to the theater.
I feel as though they're like we just started to get T'Challa's story. He just took over the helm. So part of me wishes that they could have continued T'Challa's story. I get not wanting to disrespect Chadwick Boseman.
But I feel like they'll figure out a way to do it tastefully and nicely and
of course
still
they will.
respect
It's
his
Marvel.
story.
It's Marvel. They're going to, without a doubt. I just part of me wishes we could have gotten a continuation of his story, but hey, look, they're gonna crush it. It does feel a little rushed to me, being that soon.
Well, they were supposed to start filming like he passed in August and
Yeah.
he was like getting ready to go back to the gym to bulk up to start recording because they were supposed to start filming shortly thereafter. So yeah, I don't know. I guess it must. I mean, especially because these movies are so intertwined, and then they have the collab films. I can't even imagine the emotions of the writers. Like,
so this is phase phase 4, and look how stacked this is. So basically, from November,
I'm not done.
Well, from September of this year, we're gonna go nonstop action until for the next 2 years, and so continue before I.
We get a lot in 2022.
Yeah, it's. I mean, 2022. We have Doctor Strange in March. We have Love and Thunder in May. We have Black Panther in July. We have Captain Marvel in November, and then
there you go. Yes, Captain Marvel 2, November 11th, 2022. It's gonna be called The Marvels.
It is.
Ant-Man and Wasp, February 17th, 2020. This must be 2023. It says 2021.
You definitely meant 2023. And that's the movie
they named that one Quantum Mania, and how much of a like. But how awesome. Yeah, that is where we're going to get King the Conqueror. But also the fact that like people have come out and made fun of Ant-Man and Wasp, the last one, for saying quantum so many times, and now they have a movie called Quantum Mania. So good on you.
Totally bring Nips to take a shot every time they say quantum. I'm gonna die.
You better bring a DD.
No,
okay,
Ant-Man is my favorite, so I'm excited. Okay,
let's say Game of Thrones. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, May 5th, 2023. So 2 years from today.
Oblivion Bar, just want to say, you are calling me out for not being excited about this movie. I am. I'm just saying that Guardians of the Galaxy 1 is slightly overrated. That is all.
And he's wrong, folks. He's wrong. So then we have Fantastic Four, and there is no date for that yet. They just gave us the Fantastic Four logo. We have no casting. We have no date.
They're like, here, the 4 logo, poof, gone. But we saw
that's a shit ton of movies for literally. We are recording this on Cinco de Mayo. The next 2 years, those are all the movies we're supposed to get. And that's not including the Disney Plus series.
I still don't think Spider-Man comes out this year, but we'll see. And apparently, Andrew Garfield hasn't heard shit from anybody. So he says he's not in this movie. And he
What
also
the hell?
secretly stalks Twitter to read all of your Spider Man takes about him, which he was fantastic as Spider Man. I loved his Spider Man. Okay. So if
He was
anybody has
good,
a
but he was
problem,
almost too cool.
if you have a problem with Andrew Garfield as Spider Man, then you got a problem with me. And you mess
And
with
if
one
you have
of
a
us,
problem
you
with the
mess with
first
all of
Geek or
us.
Guardians of the Galaxy movie, you got a problem with me.
I don't have a problem. I just think it's slightly overrated. That's it. We don't know what we need to do. Hold on. I think that we should do our first commentary on Guardians of the Galaxy sometime.
Okay. Oh, with the
We should
Disney
do it.
Plus feature.
We
Okay.
should
We
because
should
we
move
can share
along.
watch it. Okay. Well,
This has been long. We're
this
going to
has been
Dad's on
long.
Dayquil.
I really apologize. We're about to get
As you should.
real crazy. I'm going to be your new Jeopardy host.
Son of a
Mash.
bitch.
We're gonna talk with Gnome from Dad's on Dayquil. We're gonna do some supernatural shit. It's gonna get real weird. It's gonna get crazy. And thanks, Gnome, for joining us. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, in this corner we have Hoppy. In that corner we have Gnome. Let's get ready to rumble. All right, peace.
And scene.
But first, Hoppy, what are you drinking over there? It looks delicious.
It is delicious. I actually drank this on our Hops News beer podcast the other day as well, but
How
it is
dare you
another.
drink the same beer on more
Oh,
than
no,
one
but
night?
it's different ones. But I
How dare
had
you?
to because this is from Tactical Brewing. If you're on YouTube, you can see it has a Wendigo on it. So the beer is called Swift Runner, and it's a double New England IPA. And I mean, anytime Tactical does a double New England IPA, I buy multiple 4 packs. So I bought multiple 4 packs. But a Swift Runner is another name for a Wendigo, which is in the second episode of Supernatural. And there's a whole lot of lore behind it about some guy who like killed and ate his family and he became the Wendigo. It's based on a true story, but obviously in real life they just executed him. He did not go on to live in the forest for
Are you
centuries
sure?
and eat more people. Maybe, I don't know. Supernatural could be real. We'll find out. But so I got it paired with my little mini 67 Impala.
Mm,
I'm ready to go.
came ready to go. I
Yes.
have a. This might be a great white whale because we're talking supernatural
Oh, it
things,
is.
and so I pulled out a heavy hitter. Great Notion Brewery out of Bend, Oregon. I went with a double stack, which is an imperial stout with coffee and maple syrup. It's got a Sasquatch on it. He's got coffee. He's got a stack of pancakes. This may be the best imperial stout that I have ever drank in my entire life. It smells like maple syrup. It tastes like a stack of pancakes. And just look how dark it is if you're watching on
Who got
YouTube.
you that beer? Because I need to
Matt
be friends with
Whitwer,
them.
who I met up,
Oh,
he's one of our Patreon members. Met up with him because I meet strangers on the internet all the time, and
it's acceptable now.
we met up, and he actually brought me this beer. So I owe him some beer still, and it actually pairs because I have a Sasquatch tattoo who I've named Samson on my arm. So kind of cool, fun little notion for you. Great notion. Anyways, without further ado, we have a special guest with us tonight. You may know him as Gnome from Dad's on Dayquil, and he's here to join us. Gnome, how you doing, bud?
What's going on? I am super excited. I don't listen to this podcast as much as I watch Supernatural, but it's
Me
getting to
neither.
be it's getting to be a close second. You guys have me hooked. In all fairness, honesty, I think I've only listened to 2 Hops News episodes ever, but this Hops Geek News has me hooked on the weekly basis. I'm so excited to be
Nice.
on his show.
Man, thank you.
I have a beer here as well. I'm gonna crack it because we always crack beer on our
right in
show.
the mic.
There
Ooh,
we go.
Love that sound. Yeah.
Little squirt there. So it's all over my computer screen now.
I mean, mine usually is too, but that's just
Ooh.
Different foam. Different foam.
what is it you're drinking there?
Okay, so I have this. I won a contest through you guys like maybe a month and a half ago. And I saved this beer specifically hoping that I'd get invited to come on this show. And sure enough, here we are. So it's the Western Collective Hazy Series Volume 1.
Oh, such a good one.
I don't know where they're from. I would assume you do.
They're from Boise, Idaho.
Okay.
They are, and that's their first IPA under their new brewer, Kyle Mann. And what you think? How do you like it?
Okay, so
don't have
I'm
to
going to be
lie.
honest. I am not a normal fan of IPAs. but because I'm a bitch and I don't meet height requirements to drink them. So there's a reason I'm called the Gnome. I tend to stick to bush. I tend to stick to bush light, you know. But no, it's delicious. I think you can definitely get the hops in there, and it definitely does taste like an IPA, but it's not super heavy. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's where I draw the limit with IPAs is sometimes they're too bold for me. Too bold.
Well, a lot of times the hazies though are easier drinking and lighter on the IBUs, which is the international bitterness units. So people who tend to not like this, being punched in the face with hops will be more likely to like a hazy. So it's a good
Yeah.
intro to IPA beer.
Yeah, no, it's delicious. It is actually really delicious. So yeah, it's good. So thanks for selecting me to win that package, and now I can drink that beer. So,
Yeah.
Selecting
Thanks for
you.
entering. We love doing giveaways. If you guys haven't noticed, we do giveaways kind of often here. We have one going on right now, although by the time this comes out, it may be over. But be on the lookout. We have some pint glasses. We're figuring out how to either put them up for sale, go out giveaways. We're figuring our lives out. But you are from a little podcast that, just like you listen to us, Wednesdays are probably one of my favorite days of the week because not only do I get to drink with my friends or at Hops News, but I
Woohoo.
also like start my day off. As soon as you guys drop the link, I'm like there, man. Dad's on Dayquil. It hits in the morning and that just kind of brightens my day. And I'm like, all right, I'm good. The comedy is there. My mood is light and I'm ready for the day now.
Yeah,
We-
it's good mixture of dad jokes and kid stories
Yes.
and
a
dirty
lot of
dad jokes.
and a lot of inappropriate talk.
Yeah.
So what is for those who may not know, what do you guys do? What are we just kind of spoiled it a little bit, obviously, dad jokes and inappropriate kid stories, or that sounded wrong, but you know what I mean. You know what I meant.
No, you're on the right path here. You're on the right path. So we're dads on Dayquil. We are three dads. I'm Jordan, the Gnome. I have Josh, the Dome, and AJ, the Stoned, our little alter egos. Josh is bald, hence the Dome. AJ loves his weed, so hence the Stoned. And I'm like, depending what gas station I'm leaving, I could be anywhere from 5'4" to 5'7", maybe 5'8". So hence the Gnome. But yeah, we have 10 kids between the three of us. We're
Jesus.
apparently busybodies, and that's why we release things on hump day. And there's all reasons for those things. But yeah, we get together and we release our episodes every Wednesday, every hump day. And we just like to shoot the shit. And AJ's my cousin, so I've known him all his life. And I've known Josh for 13, probably going on 14 years. And so I just bridged the gap of getting them to know each other. And we created this podcast. And we just like to have fun. We like to bring a spin of fun and comedy and let people forget that the world's really fucked up and getting worse by the day. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
you're 100% right there. Like I said, Wednesdays are usually the day of the week where everyone starts to drag. And so when y'all drop your episodes, I'm just like, that's kind of what I need to kind of get through that
Halfway
hump,
there.
so to speak. And then I just find myself dying laughing because then it makes me feel so much better that not only my kids aren't the only just off the wall
Assholes.
ones out there, assholes who are out, and just things of that nature. Because then you sometimes your kids are just so fucking crazy that you're like, is it my kids or other people's kids like this?
No,
they're
all
all
like
that
that.
And then they're all just little assholes. Like last night, my
Yeah.
son, I'm putting him to bed. I put this on Twitter, but I'm putting him to bed and he goes, Dad, my notebook over there. I was like, what about it? He's like, that's my bucket list. I was like, are you dying? Am I dying? And he was like, that's my bucket list. I was like, what is that? And he goes, I wrote words in it. I was like, I
wrote
see
words.
something in there that might not be a word. And he was like, yeah, my bucket list, I was like, what is in your bucket list? He's like, I'm not going to sneak my remote anymore. And I was like, all right, whatever. You got to start somewhere.
It's a good life goal.
Should I be worried? But it's just
No, that's a good
things
one.
like that.
No, my 8-year-old now can't because we're still doing virtual school and she can't take a test without crying. It's like, what are you doing? One day she was losing her mind. She didn't want to hit submit. I finally walked over, hit submit. She's hysterically crying and screaming. And I start laughing because she got 100%.
Jeez.
I'm like, are you kidding right now? I'm
She's
just, oh
8
my
having
God.
those problems at school. I mean, I cry
She's
still
a
at tests.
drama
That's just
queen
because
and
I'm
a
laughing
half.
so hard because I have no idea what the fuck is going on and I don't care.
No, the 8-year-old's the teenager. The teenager is the most responsible one in the house. So we have a weird dynamic going on here. But no,
wish.
you guys have jokes that I will laugh at, and then I feel bad that I laughed at them.
That's the point.
I'm like, wow, I'm a terrible person. I'm going to hell. But that was hilarious.
We like to say, I've said it on other podcasts that I've guested on and said it on ours. We like to say that we toe the fine line of comedy, and that line is drawn by Helen Keller. So,
Oh,
I love it.
I haven't
So
heard that
speaking
one.
of Helen Keller, actually, I do have a dad joke. What is a Jewish person's favorite movie?
Oh gosh, I'm not even gonna try to guess.
Jumanji.
Oh, okay, that was good.
that was good. Shout out to my ex-wife.
Hey.
I got nervous. I got nervous there.
Shout out to my dad.
Yeah, and shout out to the Dome, who's
Yes.
Jewish. He's
So
not-
is my husband, which makes my kids half Jewish. So okay, I
There
feel
you go.
better about that joke. I was very worried.
I wasn't sure if like where the line gets drawn anymore, but then I'm like, fuck it. Like nobody, who cares anymore? We're all so up each other's asses and all that other stuff. So let's have some fun with it, like you said. And comedy, it makes us all go around and makes the world a better place.
It's good for you.
Period.
If you're
Period.
not
If-
laughing though, like, come on, what are you doing with life?
that's we don't go too cringe. I mean, there's times we get pretty cringe worthy, but it's usually at the end of the episode. But one of my favorite comedians, I don't know if you guys have ever listened to Anthony Jeselnik.
Yes.
Yes.
He,
Oh my gosh, he's
if-
hilarious.
If you laugh at that guy, then you enjoy comedy because he's dark. I mean, he is dark, and I love his comedy because he's not afraid to talk about the shit that's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So
I do.
What
that
happened to
same
him? I
stuff.
haven't seen him anywhere in a minute.
I thought he released a special in, was his last one in 18 or 19, but I'm sure it's probably COVID, like
Yeah,
usual.
nobody
All the
can do
comedians are
anything.
kind of on hiatus right now. So, but
yeah,
yeah,
no, he's
if you watch Anthony Jeselnik, you'll find out about a person real fast. Do they turn it off and be like, fuck that guy? They're not, you don't want to hang out with those people. If they're like, this dude's fucked up and funny, that's the guy that
Yeah.
you're in good company. So
Oh, there are times with the same with that where I'm like, oh my God, I shouldn't have laughed at that joke, or ooh, that was a little much. But yeah, he is hilarious.
yeah.
I love it just because I say the dumbest shit. I say the darkest jokes. And I often say them while I'm at work when I shouldn't, just because I always joke around and be like, I seriously have slight autism where I just can't read the room. I'm just like, yeah, I guess I'm gonna go kill myself now or something like that. And people look at you like, what? And I'm like, oh, I guess I can't say that here.
I felt of all the episodes we've done, the most recent one that's out from last Wednesday, I felt the worst at the end because I was drinking a little too much, and I decided, instead of my safety net of beer where I can still comprehend everything, I decided to drink vodka, water, and Mio. And I was on my third one, and I was in a rough place at the end of the episode because I could feel it hitting. And Josh, if for those out there that haven't listened to us, Josh always ends with a dirty joke. And he said, what's the difference between cancer and my dad? And without pause, I came in and said, cancer's still fighting.
Oh,
And the reason it's fucked up is his dad is gone, but he didn't die of cancer. He died of a heart attack. But it was one of those that I was going with the flow, and then I realized who I said it to. And yeah, so it was a hysterical ending to the episode. So
It's one of those, like, I shouldn't have said that. And they're like, no, it's funny. Like, oh my God.
We had to ask him after the episode. I was like, so what was the ending to the joke? He goes, it doesn't matter. Yours was better.
Aw.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So we can all relate. I say some dumb stuff sometimes. I've told the story a million times. And like my wife, when I first met her, she was telling me about how her mom died when she was 3 of cancer. And I was like, that's great. My mom's dead to me, meaning she's not, like, I didn't even say I'm sorry, anything. I was like, my mom's dead to me. And then I just didn't realize it. And she was like, do you realize that, when we were first meeting, this is what you said to me? And I was like, no, what? I did? God.
Just,
Uh,
you
So-
gotta laugh.
Anyway,
right, you have to, exactly. Even serious stuff, we're not going to get out of this life alive anyways, so you might as well
No,
laugh while
and
you're here.
you just have fun with
100%.
it. Some people who just go through life and they're just too strung out. And I'm like, come on, man, it's got to be so exhausting. So laugh a little.
Yeah.
And speaking of laughing a little, I know we're talking Supernatural, which Lauren laughs at all the time. Me, I'm just like, I see the memes, I
It's
see the
pretty
gifs,
fucking
I don't know what's
hilarious.
going on. So let's talk some Supernatural. I have built a little 10-question quiz for both of you, like trivia, little mini
Mm.
trivia
Yes.
battle. since you guys both know trivia or supernatural, or one of you at least claims to, I know nothing. I haven't shared it with anybody, but we'll get to that. Let's talk like what you guys love about it, what you hate about it, the best moments, things of that nature, because I don't know shit.
Well, I'm going to do a quick breakdown of how I would explain the show to somebody who hasn't seen it, because I think a lot of people think it's something it's not. And then I'd love to hear, Gnome, while I do this, you can think about, your worst, best, moments, the stuff that really stood out to you. And because I feel like with Supernatural, and it's almost like one of those, people say it has a cult following. The more you watch it, the better it gets, and the more you pick up on things. So like when I watched it the second time around, I was like, I didn't even hear Dean make a comment about loving Shark Week before. How did I miss that? I love Shark Week. And so it was like, dude, Shark Week, how do you not watch that? And I was like, the show just gets better and better. But all right.
Can I ask before we get into it, how many?
Mhm.
Okay, so first full disclosure, I have 2 episodes left.
Oh,
I've been
you
holding
still
on.
haven't watched those. Wow.
I've been holding on like a loose tooth that I'm afraid to pull because I know I won't like it. I know I'm going to be upset,
Mhm.
and I'm going to act like a teenage girl that just watched the end of Vampire Diaries. I'm going to lose my mind. So I've held on to them. Outside of that, I'd like to know how many times you've seen the show full through.
Twice full through.
Okay.
I literally finished my second time last night
Great. You
by
have once for
coincidence.
each
It
of
wasn't
us.
for this. It was.
I have an addiction problem then, but go ahead, continue.
Now I want to know how many times you've done it. What's your number?
4 times, but you haven't seen the last 2
Woo.
episodes.
So I've seen seasons 1 through 13 4 times. I've seen season 14 twice, and 15 I've only seen once, and I haven't finished it. I have 2 episodes left.
Well, it did just end in November, so it's not like those have been out
Correct.
forever. And
Correct.
honestly, like, I mean, yeah, we could do a whole episode just on the last episode, which I don't have closure, which is why as soon as I finished it last night, I watched the first episode today when I was on the treadmill.
The first problem though is I didn't start watching it till 2016.
Me neither. I was pregnant with my son, and I needed something that was going to entertain me for a while I was miserably pregnant.
I've watched Zack Snyder's Justice League like 4 times, so I really
that's nothing.
Yeah, that's like one season.
I know. I can't like that's what I'm saying. Like I can't talk because I've also like Clone Wars, things of that nature. I watched those on repeat.
You're gonna find out why though, because the Hoppy Mom is gonna explain exactly why we love this show.
Break it down.
All right, so this is my general breakdown. So Eric Kripke, who gave us the scene of Homelander pleasuring himself on top of a building, created Supernatural. The show ran on the CW from 2005 to 2020, and you can see the progression through their cell phones. It's really funny. So Kripke's vision was a Han Solo Luke Skywalker friendship between brothers who fight mythical and sometimes non-mythical monsters in a sweet ride with some classic rock. Instead of a Millennium Falcon, the brothers Dean and Sam Winchester have a 1967 Chevy Impala, commonly referred to, even in the subtitles, as Baby. Their promotional posters often look like the cover of romance novels, but with shirts on, which they actually make fun of in the show. Not sure why they do that, because the show is much more than these promo posters make it seem. There's constantly pop culture references from Star Wars to Lord of the Rings to Marvel to even Kevin Smith. Dean refers to angels as junkless Ken dolls, which is Alan Rickman as Metatron in Dogma. And they managed to actually make fun of their own ratings in season 4. They had a whole episode making fun of their competitors, Grey's Anatomy and CSI, the shows they went up against. And they even broke the fourth wall in season 10, looking straight at you fan fiction people. In season 13, they even did a Scooby Natural episode and became cartoons in Scooby-Doo. So while this is a CW show, the sexual innuendo is constantly there. Everyone knows that Dean loves anime porn. And at one point, Sam even asks, what are you going to look at? More anime? Or are you strictly into Dick now? Dick is a person, so they were able to get away with it. But of course, you still have that innuendo. So from vampires to werewolves to demons to gods to angels, they fight everyone, and they make fun of themselves the whole time while doing it. Season 4, they added angels, and one angel understands no pop culture or sarcasm and watches porn for the first time on the show, while another angel sends Sam and Dean a message via a Casa Erotica tape. You really never fully know where a scene is going to lead. I mean, this one angel was like traumatized, and he's like writing a story in Enochian, and then it's this like dramatic story, and then he's like, oh, there's porn stars. And then he like another angel called them hookers, and he's like, porn stars, they're not hookers. And these are angels, guys. Okay.
Look, all right. Angels even need to get a little some once in a while, okay?
And they do in this show. Okay, so Jensen Ackles, who plays Dean Winchester, opened a brewery near Austin, Texas called Family Business Beer Company because his character is in the family business of killing monsters. There are even subtle nods to the brewery in the last few seasons. At one point, Dean even says, I got a great Cosmic Cowboy IPA on tap from a brewery in Austin. And I looked on Untapped and it is a real beer. And I booked my plane ticket yesterday and I'm going to try
You
it in
better
June.
get
I'm
me some
so
of that shit.
excited. I'm already, yes,
Oh my
I picked a
gosh, you do
specific
love me. Thank you
airline
so much.
to bring back a suitcase of beer.
Was
So
that
don't you worry.
Was that the episode when he's trapped in his own brain? Is that when he says
Yes.
that? Yeah, thought so.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And in the second to last episode, which you haven't seen yet, there's actually, it's not a spoiler at all. You just see a tap handle and it says FB on it for family business. And
Cool.
it says Ghost, and Ghost is one of their beers.
Solid.
So I actually took a picture of that because I'm going to post that on the Instagram. Okay. It's a lot of TV, but it's so damn good and underrated. All 15 seasons are on Netflix. And if you have watched the show, I recommend searching Hillywood on YouTube. There are 2 amazing parody videos starring a lot of the Supernatural cast. And they also have a Doctor Who one, a Lord of the Rings one, and a whole bunch of other ones. And I promised my 8-year-old I would tell everybody that she's the one that found the videos. But yeah, it's hilarious. They do the whole video to like shake it off, but it's like with the mark of Cain. And then in the show, there's an episode where he's dancing to shake it off. And he's like, I actually don't hate this. And I think it was a nod to them doing the parody. So if you're after season 10, it's safe to watch those. So that's what I got, Gnome. So what's your favorite thing about Supernatural?
So it was a show I wanted to watch when it probably 2 years after it came out, because I saw a little, I think my ex-wife, her sister was watching it, and I was like, oh, what's that? And I was like, oh, that seems intriguing. And then I was like, it's CW. It's, not going to really be my fit. It's meant for like the teenies, like late teen girls, like, 2
Right.
guys that are strapping. And I mean, let's be real, like, no homo, those guys are
They're
hot
hot
as shit.
Yeah, they're
Both
gorgeous.
of them in their own right.
You're right. You're right.
I mean, like Jared Padalecki and Jensen Ackles are 2 strapping gentlemen. So
right. I mean, that's my list right there, and my husband knows it.
Yeah, I mean, like if I was stuck on Earth with one or both of them, and I had to get it on and be like, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I've come to terms. So, anyway, so I'm with my wife now, and when we started dating, she was into it. She had already seen seasons 1 through 9 twice, and actually, I'm sorry, 1 through 8. Season 9 was airing at the time, and so I said, okay, yeah, I want to watch it. Let's watch it. And like full binge mode, like that's all we watched.
Mhm.
And the show, for people out there that haven't watched it, it has everything you could want. It has the horror genre, especially at the beginning with all the different monsters they're
Mhm.
hunting. And then they finally actually start developing a storyline to it. And the storyline continues to change. I would say the negative to it is, which becomes the comedy part of it too, is the man drama between Sam and Dean. Sometimes you're just
Right.
like, oh my God, like, let's stop this. Like, haven't we figured out, like, just talk it out right now and get this beef over with?
Right.
But what I love about the show is when they do the random episodes. Like when you're caught up in a storyline and you're like, okay, I'm feeling a little lull going on, and they do it so well. You get this random ass episode, like they're gonna end up in the 1800s looking
Right.
for the cult.
Right.
They're
Or
going.
the Mrs. Butters one was a great one in the season
Oh,
finale. Or the last step or
the
last season.
I would say I was shocked at how good season 15 is. Like they came out full bore with really good episodes, because I felt like from the British Men of Letters on, it was lacking what it used to be. It was still good, but it was lacking what it used to be. And then season 15 really reined in real Supernatural, like what it is. And
Mhm.
so I think anybody out there who's, if you want a show that gives you everything, Supernatural is it. Like, and let's be real, there's 15 seasons, roughly on average 21 episodes, 22 episodes per season, 45 minutes a piece. It's a lot of time to put into it. But what we do is, when we stream everything. We don't use, TV providers. So when we're on a lull and waiting for something to come out, we throw on Supernatural, start it from the beginning.
It's a default.
And we just go, and you might fall asleep, but we know it's insane. And watching them, like you said in your breakdown, this show started in 2005. So when you when you watch it and you see the flip phones and the technology back then and watch it grow throughout the show, it's insane how long that show's run on. So,
Right.
But it has, I was talking to a coworker who's watched it, and I think he's watched it. He's on his second go around. And I said, what's crazy is when you get wrapped up into the show and somebody like Rowena, right? So Rowena is this witch in the show, for those not listening. You feel like she's been in the show a really long time.
Yeah. And
She
then
doesn't
someone's
come in
on
until
season 10.
9.
Right.
think-
And they're like, you don't know Rowena yet? You've been watching the show for how long? Yeah.
Right. And sometimes you lose because she's in the show so much once she comes on that
And
you
she's
feel
so
like she's been
great.
around longer. Yeah.
Mhm.
So and don't get attached. It's kind of like Game of Thrones. Don't get attached to characters unless they're the main two guys, because
Yeah.
they come and go. And yeah, it's
One character in particular, they kept trying to kill, and people kept getting mad, so they kept bringing said character back. So
Oh,
I don't know how
interesting
much
to
of a
know.
spoiler it would. I mean, it's their best friend.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So I guess he was supposed to be out. I don't know if it was when, I mean, there's a few different times he was, you had the snap, you had the Leviathan, you had a few
Yep.
different things.
That makes sense now that you say that, because I haven't heard that. I've stayed away from everything supernatural and fan fiction because I didn't want to get the ending ruined for myself. But when you say that, that makes perfect sense, because there's been multiple times where he could have been written off the show. So.
Right. Well, I don't think they expected him to be such a dynamic character and to have such a great relationship. Like him and Dean, I mean, they just feed off each other so well. And I don't think that they were expecting that. I think they wanted to get an actual love interest for Dean, and they ended up with him. But what's funny, though, is, I mean, I think that part of the reason this show lasted for so long is that the characters truly are best friends in real life. And of course, they even have the episode where they make fun of it, the French mistake where, oh, well, at least the characters are talking to each other. And, but, they said that was the one thing that really wasn't accurate, because they're actually like best friends in real life.
I remember the first time I saw that episode, I had fallen asleep and I woke up midway through the episode. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Why are they referring to themselves as their real names? And so then I had to rewatch it. But yeah, it's
right. And it's like, you're married to Rube. Oh, that's real funny, Dean.
Yeah.
That's great.
I feel there's some friends of mine that watch the show and love the show, but when you start talking about supernatural, people are like, you watch that? And I'm like, you don't?
Well, I think there's such a stigma because it's on CW though. You think it's like, oh, it's a CW show, but there's some legitimately good shows on there. Like for a while, Arrow, Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, all those superhero shows were on there. Yeah, it used to think like Smallville and stuff like that when it was the WB.
Or Seventh Heaven or Dawson's
Seventh
Creek.
Heaven, yeah, but it's not that anymore.
But again, though, the posters, though, they just,
they
they have them standing so broodingly, and it looks like the covers of the supernatural books that they make fun of in the show. But there is something in the French mistake that I feel like is not fully appreciated. So he goes upstairs with Ruby to go sleep with her, and he just makes a face like, oh, well, all right, I'm gonna go do this. And it's like, there was not any appreciation to how funny that moment actually was, and how out of character for Sam it was at that time. But it was just a happy nod to, oh, this is my wife in real life.
Right. What is, I got to ask you this, out of all, what is your absolute favorite episode?
Oh gosh.
You have to have one, like one,
I know.
No matter what, it's your favorite.
It's like, can I pick 5?
No, one. I've had
I'm going to go Changing Channels then.
Okay. That's the one with,
Loki.
With Loki. Yeah. And they're in the different alternate TV shows.
With Dr. Sexy, although they dropped the ball in one of the scenes in Dr. Sexy, they're like, this show has ghosts, and they didn't say that ghost looks like Dad, because Jeffrey Dean Morgan plays Denny on Grey's Anatomy and their dad, so that was a missed opportunity. But
it's funny that's your, if you have to choose, that's your favorite, because my favorite is also one with Loki. And Mystery Spot is absolutely my fucking favorite episode. So
Tuesday, Pig and a Poke.
I actually bought my wife a shirt and it has that picture. It has it says Pig and a Poke, and so yeah, that's my absolute favorite.
I love the subtitle on the one. He's in the shower, slips, dies in shower.
Yeah.
That's how I hope to go out.
But
I
yeah,
think that's
yellow
actually-
fever is a good one too. What? That's how you
I
want
was
to go
gonna
out, is
say, that's
slipping and
probably
dying
how
in the
I'm gonna end up
shower.
going out because I always slip in the shower. Because
I'm
I
pretty
don't know
bad
what
with
it
the
is.
names of the episodes sometimes, like except for favorites, or really really big episodes. Which
Mhm.
one's Yellow Fever?
The one where ghost sickness, where he screams.
Oh yes,
"Ah!"
that's my wife's favorite. Yes.
Yeah. So my daughter, she doesn't watch the show. My 8-year-old, my 17-year-old's on season 9, and I keep telling her you need to speed up. But the 8-year-old, so I won't let her watch it, but I'll let her watch Scooby Natural, and she's seen changing channels because but she watches the Dean funniest moments, and so she just loves the screaming, watching him scream over and over with the cat.
I really like the Yellow Fever one's really good, but I also like the one where I don't remember the title. Like I said, bad with names. Is when he gets hexed and that one and
Wait,
Sam
which
has
one?
to put when Sam has to put sticky notes on everything.
Oh yeah, yeah,
What
yeah.
is
When
that,
the
like,
witch, I don't remember what it's called, but he starts forgetting
season-
everything.
Yeah, it's like season maybe 12.
It's with Rowena, so yeah, it's later
Yeah,
on.
it is later on. That one is hysterical. Hysterical.
But yeah, Sam gets knocked unconscious a lot, and Dean gets hexed a lot. And anytime they're doing a spell, like Dean's the one that could talk to animals, one time. And the best though, another great one is the one that now everybody's doing, the gifts, myself included. I've probably done it multiple times. The I'm Batman. So the lucky rabbit's foot, that whole episode is fantastic. Other than when the guy gets the fork in the back of his head, that was gross. But other than that, that was a great episode. He's like, yeah, you're Batman. Well, he is now. Oh, and Dean does call Sam at one point. I think when they went to the 1800s. This is Walker. He's a Texas Ranger.
Yes, he does. Yep.
So,
And
see, the show
now
even predicts the future.
and now here he is, Walker Texas Ranger reboot.
All right. Well, we could keep going, Matt. So you better spit out these questions.
All
Quick.
right.
Yeah, take over.
So I have 10 questions here. 10 questions.
Now, how are we doing this?
First to answer, right?
All right. So we're just throwing out, screaming out the answer.
Oh man.
Okay.
that's-
Whoever raises their hand first, and then you can give the answer.
All right. Are you going to
Yeah.
call on
Oh
us?
look, I can't see my hand.
If you raise your hand first, I'm gonna make this fair. It's like I have no stake in the game, So if you raise your hand first, I will call on you. You have a chance. If not,
Okay.
then it goes to the other person, and then if you both get it wrong, I'll give it back.
Nobody gets any questions. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So it's the best out of 10, and then you get the bragging rights. I have nothing to give you here other than bragging rights.
Respect.
I'm okay losing
Respect.
this, just to be clear.
I don't want that mentality. You need a winner's mentality in here.
All the questions are from the last 2 episodes.
Oh
This-
great.
No,
I'm out.
actually, I think they're all from the earlier seasons. But to be honest, I just Googled stuff, so I have no idea. This one should be an easy one though. First question: what language do the angels speak? Go, Lauren.
Did you freeze? Did I freeze? Oh, Enochian.
Yes.
Enochian. Okay.
Yes.
Am I
Oh,
freezing?
You're right.
Okay.
So there you go. No, it looked like you got yours up first. Like I said, I have no stake in this game.
I'm short. I got to keep my hand ready. I'm gonna keep a fist though, and then when I'm
That's
ready, I'll-
fine. That's fine.
You keep that. I'm 5'5", so the shortest one you see, so you're probably at
Oh, I
least
got
my
you. I
height or
got you by
taller.
like at least an inch.
That is
There you
fine.
go.
Question number 2. What is Crowley's nickname for Sam? Oh man, I don't know. It was like the same time. Shit.
I feel like we should both get this because it's pretty easy.
On 3,
right.
Yeah.
Yes, on 3. 3, 2, 1.
Moose.
Moose.
Yes. Okay, you both got it right. So there, that one's a wash. Nobody.
I miss Crowley.
Me too. He was done dirty, I
I'll
felt.
give you both a point. So right now it's 2-1.
Okay.
2-1. All right. What 80s rock star is possessed by Lucifer in season 12?
Oh shit.
Go, Gnome.
Rick Springfield. Rick
Yes.
Springfield.
You're right.
I
2 to
didn't
2.
remember that.
Uh-oh. Yeah, it was Rick Springfield. We'll be on question 4. Who are Sam and Dean's parents? Lauren.
Mary and John Winchester.
Yes. Bum bum bum. Lauren's up 3 to 2. Next question. What was the original title of the show? Gnome.
Unnatural.
That's right.
Huh. I didn't know that.
I know they got real creative with their name, huh?
Unnatural sounds so wrong.
Right?
I'm glad they changed it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I don't know, maybe they're thinking just things weren't natural. I don't know.
I better
Anyways,
start getting things wrong because I'm looking really
it's
teenage girlish right now.
3-3. Hey, no shame in the game. We all love what we love. I like watching rom-coms once in a while.
Yeah,
There ain't no
I-
shame in it.
He watches Hallmark movies.
I do. I love
That's okay.
Hallmark movies. So, all right. What angel wrote the Word of God? Word of God tablets. I'm sorry. Oh, I think Gnome had his hand up the whole time.
Oh.
I knew the ending of the question as you were trying to say it, so I
Yes,
did
go
have
ahead.
my hand.
No, you're right.
But it's Metatron,
That's right. That is
I was
right.
gonna say I even said the name a second ago or at the beginning.
the Weasleyiest fucking character in that entire show.
God, I hated him. He tried to redeem himself at the end, but he's still a piece of crap.
Gnome is up 1. We have 4 questions remaining.
Son of a nutcracker.
What hunter married a werewolf named Bess? Gnome.
Garth.
God,
Yep.
I think my
Oh,
internet
that's
connection's slow.
That's a 2. That's a 2.
Can we just do it? Okay, so another episode with Garth. He actually drives the car from Wayne's World, and that episode
Yes.
was called Party on Garth.
Yes, it was.
Or was he
What-
driving it, or was that when they weren't allowed to drive the Impala because of Leviathans? So they were driving it. I don't know, but the car was in that episode.
I think you're right. I think it was they were driving it because the baby wasn't around.
Right. Yeah, because they had to hide it because the Leviathans looked like them and were driving
The
it.
show just thinks of everything. It's insane.
But in that episode, though, it was at a brewery in Canada and only drunk people could see the ghost.
Correct.
That was a
Correct.
great one. That
Correct.
was a
Damn,
good
that's
one.
a good premise, actually. I like
It
that
is a good premise,
Drunk
yeah.
People in
That was a good
Canada,
show.
That's my
Yes.
kind of party. However, you're still
Party
down
on,
2.
Garth.
There's nothing I can do for you on that one.
Well, you know how we feel about Canada if you listen to our show. Just kidding, Scotch and Sports. We love you.
I never mind. I love Canada, so that's how
I'd live there if I could. They
Oh,
won't let me in.
too. Me too.
They won't let me. It's too cold for me.
In Scooby Natural,
Oh, this
who
is
makes out
probably
with
yours.
Velma?
Oh, I actually know this one.
Okay, Gnome had him first.
It's Sam.
It was
His
So,
shoulders. are
2
so
questions
nice.
left, and I'm gonna tell you right now, Gnome has a three question lead, but I'm gonna go ahead and just Gnome wins. But
This
we're gonna-
last question is for 5
No,
points.
we got 2. All right. If you get this next one right, maybe. Let's see. We got 2 questions remaining. What does Dean call his Impala? Okay.
I'll let her have it.
Lauren,
Thank you, baby. Obviously, we've already
it
talked
is.
about that.
That's right. All right.
That was another great episode, baby.
The baby episode was fantastic.
Yeah.
Final question. What prophet of the Lord is chosen to interpret the word of God? Okay, what?
It was Lauren. It was Lauren.
There's multiple ones. I'm assuming Kevin Tran, or are you
Probably.
talking about
No, you're
Donatello?
right. It
Okay.
was- it
It's
was
probably Kevin.
Tran. So that was great. You still lost by 1, but it was a respectable.
My
one.
internet's slow.
Yes, blame the internet.
It wasn't
Blame
my
the
fault.
Internet. That was
The
that
only
was
one,
fun.
I didn't know the Rockstar one though. I could not. I can picture him obviously, but I can't remember his name.
That's a tough one because I always want to say, Bruce Springsteen every time, but I know it's not right. It's Rick
Mhm.
Springfield. So
It is. I don't even know who Rick Springfield is. I'll be honest with you.
the only reason I committed that to memory is because when it happened, I had to. I'm like, I know this guy. Like, he's a real rock star. I got to look up who this guy is. And I was like, oh shit, it's Rick Springfield. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the questions I had. That was fun. Looks like Lauren isn't as big a Supernatural fan as she likes to tout herself to be.
No, I'm just not as fast.
I'm a little disappointed.
I'm disappointed in myself too.
You
I'm not
really-
gonna lie.
You know what? I'm gonna let you pass because back when we did a giant Super Hop Smackdown, you actually did come in clutch there at the end and won.
Only
us
because I knew the
that
acronym
trivia.
to SHIELD.
Yes.
Nobody
So
else knew the acronym to SHIELD.
I'll let you slide, and you can still co-host this podcast because I don't know
Oh.
shit about Supernatural. And I've
Thank
never
you for
seen it.
allowing me that privilege.
No, but that was great. I don't have anything else. Do you guys have anything else on the Supernatural world?
Oh, I could go for 5 more hours.
no shit.
So I guess we'll go ahead and we'll wrap it up here. We won't keep it terribly long this episode. Gnome, really appreciate you coming on, man. Like I said, I thoroughly enjoy the show. Look forward to it on Wednesdays and been dying to get you on. Is there anything you want us to know about the podcast? Is there anything you want us to know about you? Anything of that nature? The floor is yours, my friend.
Well, as the Supernatural Trivia King, I would like
Ouch.
to channel my inner Crowley here
I
and
was
be a little
gonna say.
pompous. No, thanks for having me on. I've been looking forward to getting on. Even I can't remember if you asked me or if I intentionally DM'd
No,
you and
I
said, when
asked
can
you,
oh, you did. Okay.
but
I
I
thought
read
I
your
might have
mind.
been a little I would like to say that the indie podcast community is fucking fantastic, and
Mhm.
everybody that we've met and collaborated with or spoken to in some manner is just absolutely fantastic. And I'm glad that we started this podcast just to meet people like yourselves, and shows that I'd probably never know about if it wasn't for doing a podcast and trying to promote it and trying to get people to listen to it. So to
Yeah.
all 48 of our listeners, we thank you. But yeah, we're dads
You
on
have that
Dayquil.
many? It's impressive.
You guys are
Well,
getting
I mean,
48.
my mom, AJ's mom,
47 more. My
She's
mom
got a
doesn't
lot of
even listen
family,
to this.
Anyway, yeah, Dad's on Dayquil. We release every hump day. You can find us on any podcast platform, iTunes, Spotify, um, Google Podcasts. We don't like you, but you can have it. You're on there too. So we have merch if you want to get some swag from the dads. We like to have some fun swag. We have a episode where we call the T-Rex a Clitosaurus Rex, and we have a Clitosaurus Rex T-shirt. So if you'd like to,
I am
support
the
that.
Clit Commander.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. So T Public, you can find us there. Dad's on Dayquil. You can find us anywhere. We love to engage. We love to talk. So if you find us on any social platforms, we have a Facebook group, Dad's on Dayquil group. We have Instagram, which is totally slacking. My personal Instagram is beating that just because I wanted it to. And I don't even like Instagram, but where it's at is Twitter. Twitter is where it's at @DDayquil. If you want to get at us, I'm the one that runs Twitter. So come on there with all of us degenerates on Twitter. So
Yeah. I got to say, we actually inadvertently, that's how like our friendship got going was Twitter, because
Mhm.
there was that one douchebag who wanted the podcast recommendations.
That's right.
And then he just was an asshole about it. So then we all just kind of, I was like, all right, man, cool. And then everybody jumped in, and then a group formed out of that. And then just multiple spin-off groups and
Was
stuff like
that
that.
you that first posted?
Yeah, it was me because
Okay,
I
it
tagged
was
you
you.
guys all, because I was like, hey,
Yep.
when someone asks for them, like, you can listen to us, or I have recommendations from all over the map. Like,
Correct.
here, listen to somebody. One of these has got to be something you like, because before we started podcasting, I used to just listen to like Kevin Smith, Bill
Mhm.
Burr, the
Yeah.
big ones.
Mhm.
So, like you said, the indie podcast community has been dope because you all are awesome. You're pretty much everybody I interact with are people that I listen to and people I would hang out with on the rig. And that dude was just being an asshole. Then he got real racist, and then we made
Yeah.
him.
I got called a cotton picker.
Yeah, like
I'm like me.
we're just like
Okay.
as white as you can get. This dude
Yeah.
just got real crazy with it, and then
Yeah.
he actually got blocked or banned on Twitter too, which is
Yeah, we
kinda-
stormed it was that
Storm the
night.
castle.
That night was absolutely, that's exactly what somebody said. And somebody planted this GIF, and I cannot find this GIF. Like, I've searched multiple different tags to find this thing,
Is
but
it
it's these.
Princess and the Bride or Princess Bride?
It might be. It does look
The
older,
Have
but it's
Fun
like this.
Storm in the Castle is Billy Crystal and Princess Bride.
No, it's like it said, we've stormed the castle and stolen this thread, and it's this picture of these guys that run in and start
Oh.
dancing in a castle. And I have no clue where it's from, but it was, yeah, I hopped on, and normally when I see shit like that, I just let it go. Like, I don't want to get in an argument like a troll, but it pissed me off because I'm like, this dude sits there, or lady, because I didn't know at the time who was running it, gives you recommendations, and you basically tell them to go get fucked. And I was just like, fuck you. Like, that pissed me off. Like, we're out here busting balls for nothing. Most of us, like, a lot of us don't have
we
sponsors.
sink
We're doing
money
it
into this stuff,
right,
Right.
right. And for you to be a douchebag after you asked for recommendations really pissed me off. And so I hopped in there, and then I hopped into one of my retweet groups, and I said, hey, this fucking asshole needs to learn a lesson. And that's where everybody came in. So apparently I have more pull than what I know. So my kid doesn't even
it's like
listen
it's
to me.
nice because we all got each other's backs, and it's just it's one of those things where when we all meet up, we're gonna just be bullshitting and having a good time because
Mhm.
one day we're all meeting up. I don't care how it has to happen. Next time I go down to Vegas, I'm letting you guys know, and we'll all just
Where are
meet.
you guys in Dad's and Dayquil? I know I've
So-
heard it before, but
So AJ lives in Vegas, and lives in
Oh.
Henderson, but Henderson is Vegas. It's
Yeah, that's
just
where my heterosexual life mate lives.
right. So and then Josh and I live an hour and a half south. I'm from Vegas, but we live in a little hillbilly town called Kingman, Arizona.
But they hate the Golden Knights. That's big to
Okay.
remember.
I do. I personally do because I could talk 5 hours about this. Don't get me started with this. I'm a huge hockey fan and I grew up playing hockey and I lived in Vegas and I tried to get all my friends into hockey. And now all of those stupid son of bitches talk about the Knights constantly on Facebook.
Did you see Fleury?
Oh, fucking hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Anyway, yeah. So I cannot wait to meet some of the people, especially the regular rotation I have. I won't name them so people that do listen to this don't get offended if they're not my regular rotation. But
well, I got my rotation that I regularly listen to as well. But
well, we get to meet next week, so that's pretty.
When I heard you guys
rotation.
say that a couple episodes ago, when I didn't realize like you've never met in person, and I was like, holy shit! Like,
no, we're gonna be broadcasting live from Disney.
That's exciting. That's
from
exciting.
Galaxy's Edge.
So,
yeah, that's super exciting.
Yeah,
but no, we met through the beer podcast, the Hops News.
So. We were writing articles and shit before, but when I am in Vegas next, I'll hit you up. Even if we have to go watch the shitty nights or something, we're gonna get together. I don't care if I got to go an extra hour and a half south. I don't care what we got.
What part of Idaho are you in?
I'm right outside of Boise.
Okay, so I don't know how far that is because my mom lives in Western Montana. And so we usually go up there once a year, but I don't know how far that is. It's probably a decent drive.
4.5 hours from Yellowstone, if that helps whatsoever.
She's in Missoula, so I don't know.
I don't know Montana. I'll be honest. I don't know this part of the country.
It's probably pretty close.
Idaho real? I have no
idea. You fly to Vegas, you let me know. I'll make the hour and a half drive and we'll go drinking.
Hell yeah, we're gonna go drinking. So I really, really appreciate you coming on, man. Appreciate it once more. Lauren, come on, go study. What's wrong with you?
I was like, what did I do? All right, I'll go watch Supernatural again.
For real.
I'll do it for the podcast.
To check Dads on Dayquil out every Wednesdays. Make sure you check us out every Monday evenings. And we really appreciate everybody who's listened to all of us, left reviews, things of that nature. And until next time, cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Can we now play Carry On My Wayward Son?
This has been a Hops News production. You can find Hops News on all your favorite podcasts and social media platforms at Hops News. Cheers.